December the 7th. So kind of approaching a third of the way. We've had some good ones. We've had some not so good ones. See yesterday's video. But remaining positive. So we have had some good whiskey. I think that the Clan Denny and the Parkmore, they're both really good, affordable drams. And even the Tomatin and the Glengoyne, decent, affordable whiskey. So what have we got today? Ooh. I know what that smells like. That smells a lot like peated Bunnahabhain. Really fainty, oily, dirty, smoky peatiness. Really like burning bad stuff. Diesel fumes, wood smoke, oil, burning oil. Really dirty, a little bit industrial. So that is probably, it's our first proper peated whiskey that we've had so far. Hopefully it won't be the last. Let's get some in the glass. I was going to rinse the glass, give it a little rinse, freshen it up, but I don't think we need to. Not with that. So peated Bunnahabhain, if it is peated Bunnahabhain, that's like Toitcha Da. And they've got a couple of other peated ones, haven't they? Ciarbanach and Toitchuk. And Stoisha, obviously, could be an independently bottled Stoisha. Also, actually smells a lot like. Where is it? Might not be up there. One of the black bottles, one of the peated black bottles, Island Smoke. Smells a lot like that. Which I think is because there's peated Bunnahabhain in Island Smoke. It does smell a lot like peated Bunnahabhain to me though. And I always think that one of the things that a lot of people don't really talk about enough is that peated Bunnahabhain is obviously incredibly different to the unpeated, normal, regular Bunnahabhain. But I think that peated Bunnahabhain is quite close in style to young Lagavulin. Like people that like your Lagavulin 12 cask strength, which is a whiskey which is dead to me at this point, to be quite honest, because Diageo just come out with their special releases for 2023, and they've got that ridiculous thing in tequila casks with the ridiculous, slightly offensive label on it, and it's priced at, I think it's £155. No effing way. And I think that a lot of people have that opinion now, that it's just Lagavulin 12 has just completely jumped the shark with their prices and with the stupid cask finishes, which is just really unnecessary for something so beloved as a Lagavulin 12 cask strength. To be honest, I never really loved it that much anyway. It's not really the kind of thing that appealed to me. I think that Lagavulin tends to be better at a bit of an older age, and I'd rather have a Laphroaig or an Ardbeg if we're going to go young, but that's just me. Getting sidetracked a little bit there. A little bit of a chocolatiness coming through on the nose, but I don't know if that's really something that's coming through from the spirit. I think it's probably more coming through from the peat. It's just got that slightly burnt note, which is presenting itself as like a dark roast coffee, espresso and bitter chocolate note. It's got a bit of a fruitiness, but a lot of a faintiness. Very oily, quite salty, briny, and as I said, burnt. All things industrial and oily and fumy and burnt. So I'm really interested to see, when I get around to tasting this, is it going to be weak? Is it going to be a poor presentation? Or is this going to be... Could be a Stoisha. Like an independently bottled peated Bunnahabhain would be good. think 46%. I think it's got a bit too much of a prickle, too much presence on the tongue to be 43, definitely not 40. But I don't think that it's got the kind of intensity that you would expect from probably any, well no, I was going to say any independently bottled Stoischer, but there's probably 46% and maybe even 43% IB Bunners, probably. But I think that's a very good one. So hopefully this stuff is affordable. At the moment, it's not a Lagavulin 8. It's just not quite right in the profile. It's not juicy enough. Lagavulin 8 has a real crystalline and intense juicy maltiness to it, and this doesn't have that. It's much darker and industrial and dirty. Dirty, fumy, salty and maritime, briny, paraffin firelighters, wood smoke, creosote. Really good. I like this one. I think if this one is below £50, it's an easy buy. Just thought possibly something like Rock Oyster or like a special Big Pete, perhaps. It's that ballpark. And they're about that 46% ABV usually, aren't they? Definitely 46%. Beautiful, dry, acrid smokiness. Love it. So the question is, where is that going to go on the leaderboard? I've actually got a little bit of the Parkmore left here. Look at that colour. I'm assuming that's natural. Lovely pink tint to it. Yeah, I think we've got a new winner. As good as the Parkmore Auchroisk is, I think that this is better. So let's see what we've got. Black bottle? Maybe. Smoky Scot. Great Scot. I have no idea what that is. It's an Islay 5-year-old single malt Scotch whisky. Beautiful colour. Wow, look at that. Really light and pale. It's like an off-water colour. Very light, even, probably even a little bit lighter than what you would call straw. So Smoky Scot Islay 5-year-old. So being an Islay single malt, it's obviously not going to be Bowmore. It's unlikely to be Kilhoman and could be peated Bunner. I think that it could probably be any of those, and no matter where it's from, it's a very good whisky. So let's have a little look, see how expensive this stuff is. So the first thing that comes up is Master of Malt. It is 46%, I didn't check that. Yeah, it says 46% on the bottle as well. Interestingly, Master of Malt lists this stuff as being Caol. Yeah, it says it's Caol. So Smoky Scot, heavily peated single malt, produced at Caol, matured in bourbon oak cask for 5 years, bottled at 46% by ACO? ACEO? Haven't heard of them. Typical Islay flavour, the peat doesn't disappoint. So this stuff sells for £39.30 for a 700ml bottle, 46%, absolute winner. I'd never heard of this. I'm sure a bunch of you have probably heard of it. Smoky Scot. It looks like this on the Master of Malt website, and it sells for that much. Interestingly, this doesn't come up on the Really Good Whisky Company website. So I think that Really Good Whisky Company, they're possibly missing an opportunity there. Or maybe they just haven't got as much of a presence on Google. as the big names that we know. No, that's kind of disappointing and kind of weird that Smoky Scot doesn't appear to be available from really good whiskey company at the moment. So they should probably change that. They should make sure that at least the good drams, the really good ones from the Advent calendar, should be available to buy, because they're missing out on some business there. But anyway, Smoky Scot, Isle of 5-year-old, new number 1. Let's see if anything can beat it tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and cheers.